Hi children, we continue with our third chapter, synthetic fibers and plastics. So far we have been discussing about what are plastics, what are the different types of plastics, what are the uses of plastics and what are the characteristics of plastics. So now we know that plastics are widely used material nowadays, but now we know that the governments are imposing ban on the use of plastic items these days. What is the reason for that? There are certain problems associated with excessive use of plastics. So those problems and how can we recover from those problems, that we have to see in today's class. Okay. So problems with plastics. Problems with plastic. In the last class we learned that plastics are non-biodegradable substances. Plastics are non-biodegradable substances and plastics take hundreds of years to get decomposed completely. Plastics takes hundreds of years to get decomposed completely. So if we are throwing plastic items on land, it takes millions of years to get mixed with land. So it will be remaining in the land and it will affect the quality of the soil. It affects the quality of the soil. It affects the soil fertility. In such a soil, plants will not grow effectively. So it causes environment, or we can write land pollution. So if plastic items are thrown in soil, it remains there for hundreds of years, thereby affecting the soil fertility. So it negatively affects the growth of plants. So plastics are non-biodegradable materials and they take hundreds of years to get decomposed completely. So it affects the soil fertility and causes land pollution. Okay. Now, if we are burning it, if we find burning as a better method of disposing plastic, what happens upon burning? You might have seen it. When plastics are burned, a lot of poisonous fumes are released into the atmospheric air, leading to air pollution. So if plastic items are burned, a lot of poisonous fumes are released into the atmospheric air, leading to air pollution. Okay, now we decide we will not dispose it in the soil, or we will not burn it. Instead, we will throw it in water bodies. Then what happens? If they are thrown into water bodies, what happens? It reduces the oxygen dissolving capacity of the water and do not allow sunlight to enter deep into the water. Then what is the harm that is caused? It affects the life of aquatic plants and animals. So if thrown into water bodies, plastics reduce the oxygen dissolving capacity of water and also do not allow sunlight to enter deep into water, thereby affecting the life of aquatic plants and animals and causing water pollution. Now, sometimes the corporation people, the people who come and collect waste from our homes, they have provided us with two separate buckets, one for food waste and other one for plastic waste. But sometimes people, what they do is they mix food waste and plastic waste together. So along with food waste, these people will be carrying plastic waste also. So the places where this food waste are dumped, you might have seen grazing animals like cows and all coming and eating the waste food. So along with food items, they may swallow plastic carry bags or plastic items also. Then what happens? If eaten by animals, it can choke their respiratory system and result in the death of animals. Okay, so it is our duty to make sure that food waste and plastic waste are never mixed together. If plastic waste are eaten by animals, it can choke their respiratory system and also result in the death of these animals. Okay. So death of animals, it can result in the death of animals. So these are the problems associated with excessive use of plastics. Plastics are materials of our choice, but nowadays governments are imposing bans on certain plastic items because excessive use of plastics result in certain negative impacts on the environment. Plastics are non-biodegradable materials. So, if they are thrown on the land, it will remain there for hundreds of years, not mixing with soil, thereby affecting the fertility of the soil and affecting the growth of plants. It causes land pollution. When burned, plastics release a lot of poisonous fumes into the atmospheric air, leading to air pollution. If thrown into water bodies, plastics reduce the oxygen dissolving capacity of water and also do not allow sunlight to enter deep into water, thereby affecting the life of aquatic plants and animals and causing water pollution. The last one is actually a disaster that is caused by mixing food waste and plastic waste together. If they are eaten by animals, it can choke their respiratory system and also result in the death of these animals. Okay, now what can we do to reduce the problems associated with plastics? How can we recover from the problems of plastics? So that is the next topic, conservation action. Conservation. How can we protect ourselves from the dangers associated with excessive use of plastics? First thing is, instead of plastic bags, when you go for shopping, always we carry plastic bags with us, or the shopkeeper offers us plastic bags, isn't it? So every time when you go for shopping, do not accept the plastic bags offered by the shopkeeper. Instead, you can make use of cotton bags, jute bags or paper bags. Or if such bags are not available at home, you reuse the plastic bags that you already have in your home. Do not bring plastic bags always when you go for shopping. Do not receive the plastic bags which are offered by the shopkeeper every time when you go for shopping. Instead of plastic bags, make use of cotton, jute or paper bags for shopping. Instead of plastic bags, make use of paper, cloth or jute bags for shopping. Avoid the use of plastic bags as far as possible. Instead of plastic bags, make use of bags made of cotton, paper or cloth. Cloth bags, paper bags or jute bags when you go for shopping. Okay. So avoid plastic bags as far as possible. Second one, do not throw plastics on the road or in water bodies. Do not throw plastics on the road or into water bodies. Next one, that is most important thing, collect biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste separately and dispose it separately. That is an important point. The last problem was when eaten by animals, it results in the death of these animals. So make sure that you do not mix biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste materials. So you are provided with two separate containers for biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. So collect them separately and dispose it separately. Okay. So biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste must be collected separately and disposed of separately. So as a responsible citizen, it is our duty to collect biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste separately and dispose them off separately. Second one, we have to encourage reusing and recycling. There are people who come and collect old plastic items. So if you have used plastic items at home, you can give those items to those people who come and collect plastic items for recycling. Reusing means using the same plastic bag or same plastic container again and again. So encourage reusing and recycling of plastics. So these are the 4 methods that we can adopt to recover from the problems with plastics. Okay, first one is, as far as possible we should avoid the use of plastics. Instead of plastic bags, when you go for shopping, make use of cotton bags, jute bags or paper bags. Second one is, never throw plastic items on the road or in water bodies. Third one is, collect biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste materials separately and dispose them off separately. Last one, we have to encourage reusing and recycling of plastics. Okay. Now there is 5R principle that we have to follow. First one, R is refuse. Say no to the plastic bags offered by the shopkeeper when you go for shopping. Reuse plastic items. Do not take plastic items again and again. Instead, you can reuse a plastic carry bag, for example. The same bag can be used again and again. Once it is spoiled, you can throw it and then take a new bag. Do not take plastic carry bags every time when you go for. Do not accept the plastic bags offered by the shopkeeper every time you go for shopping. You reuse it. Then recycle, as I told you. Give the plastic materials that you have at home to people who come and collect these items. That is given for recycling. Then recover. Try to recover or reduce the problems associated with plastic. So refuse, reuse, recycle, recover, reduce. The most important thing is reduce. Reduce the problem, reduce the use of plastics. As far as possible, minimize the use of plastics. So reduce, recover, recycle, reuse and refuse are the 5 R's. 5R principle. So with that, chapter synthetic fibers and plastics is over. Thank you, children.